You may have a design in mind for your Superloo washroom, but don't know all the specific details, exactly what size you need to make the rooms, what products you should use, or how to fit everything into a compact space within a refurbishment. By the end of this video, you'll have a list of specific products, design considerations, measurements, all the information you need to get started on your rear wall Superloo specification or build. My name is Brian Ford, a washroom consultant and specification team leader here at Dolphin Solutions, where I've worked for the last 17 years. In this video, we'll be going over rear wall Superloo general design, Superloo products required, recommended measurements and spacings, other considerations for your design, other designs available, rear wall basin Superloo general design. This Superloo is one of two standard designs of Superloo, with the basin or the trough on the rear or back wall next to the toilet. The advantages of this layout include the fact that all your services remain on one wall, especially if you have a number of Superloos in a row next to each other. There's no need to bring any water supply or the waste pipe into the side walls between the Superloos, which can also further help with space saving. And there's also the potential of saving space along the length of the washroom and helping make a design work where a longer length Superloo cannot be fitted. The downsides are that the vanity and the WC design are somewhat tied together, meaning less flexibility in your design. The concealed cistern is also enclosed below the vanity, and access needs to be considered for servicing and maintenance. Consideration also needs to be given for access to the services below the vanity for the basin waste. Superloo products required. The following products are the ones you'll need to fit out in your Superloo: the tap, the soap dispenser, paper towel dispenser or hand dryer or both, toilet roll holder, waste bin, concealed cistern and the flush plate, wall hung or floor mounted WC pan, basin or trough. Other optional items could be included, such as a sanitary bin and a robe hook. Exact measurements and spacings. The minimum recommended dimensions for this type of Superloo design are a width of 1185 millimeters and a length of 1800 millimeters, including the column of clearance, a small vanity and a duct for a concealed cistern. These dimensions provide enough space for a standard toilet, vanity unit and a hand drying facilities. However, you may want to consider larger dimensions if you have the space available for a more pleasant washroom experience for washroom users. There's no limit to how wide a Superloo can be, but there are some practical considerations that will affect the design of how wide to make it. However, a wider Superloo will allow for more options in the way of style and product choice. Ultimately, the decision of how wide to make a Superloo is up to the individual or the organization that is building it. The best decision will depend on the specific needs of the project. Other considerations for this design. There are some other considerations that should be made when using this design of your washroom. One of these is whether you use a manual, pneumatic or electronic flush actuation on your cistern. If you're using a pneumatic or manual flush plate that gives you access to the concealed cistern, the toilet seat lid will generally cover the flush plate. This is not a bad thing, as closing the lid prevents aeration of bacteria from the flush. We wouldn't usually recommend the electronic flush plate, which is removable to get access to the cistern, and this will be covered by the lid, preventing it from functioning correctly. The alternative is to use a small sensor to one side of the lid, but alternative access to the cistern should be considered. Also, consideration should be given to the noise insulation between the Superloos, air conditioning and the ventilation, light switches or motion sensors, touch-free or manual accessories, and you may want to consider using a mirror unit such as the Alavo in your Superloo to give a premium or streamlined experience to the users. Superloo should have a full height lockable door to give the user a feeling of security and privacy, so you should take care when choosing your door. One further consideration is that this design isn't ideal layout for ambulance Superloos, as it will be too wide for the user to reach both grab rails while seated on the toilet. The vanity design would not easily facilitate a hinged support rail next to the toilet. Other designs available. The other main Superloo design available is when the basin is on the side wall instead of the back wall. There are a few advantages or disadvantages between the two, and this choice would be a design-led choice in most cases. Please see the second episode of this series for further information. If you're interested in having this Superloo in your building, please get in touch with our design team on our contact page or visit our Washroom Learning Hub where there is other Superloo content available.